Would you like to learn a brand new and innovative way to invest your extra money that has a low barrier to entry and low competition? What if I told you that it is a guaranteed method to get up to 18 to 20% return on your investment? Tax lien and deed purchasing is the only way to get into the real estate market through the back door. No credit and no loans needed. This method isn't commonly taught, and therefore the competition is very low, for now. Put together a 14-hour info-packed course which will teach you everything you'll need to know to get started. Learn at your own pace, step-by-step guided video and aids to start you on the TLC deed investment process. The course offers many learning tools for new investors, helping ensure you safely invest in tax liens and deeds. Contact us today and join the buyback team.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Primetime Home Buyers, and you're here with your host, Lashley. I hope you guys are having an amazing, amazing Monday. Yes, I'm here and I'm on time. We're going to be changing the broadcast time periodically, so please just bear with me. Throw your notifications on. Y'all know I have a life that's pretty busy, but I love what I do and I love sharing information with you. So, shout out to Rumble Rumble. I just want to address something. Rumble. I put up a video yesterday highlighting what is a tax lien and how do I start to get invested. Now, what we're going to be doing is actually switching the focus and integrating a lot of information that we have divulged on Rumble. Okay, so this is just a disclosure to everybody. This is for Rumble and for YouTube. So we've been on YouTube for about 3 years, and we haven't been making the numbers that we would like. We know we have great content. We're grateful for the people who like to subscribe. Our numbers are going up slowly but surely. But what we're going to do is um, do most of our live broadcasts actually on Rumble and Facebook. That's where we're having a lot of interaction. We are making some changes on YouTube. So, YouTube, we have started a members only section. We're going to be getting that together. I'll let you know how much that is. The members only section is going to give you access to the state to state breakdown, is going to give you access to Georgia tax lien investment, the full series. Once we upload it all, you have a choice to get it through YouTube, or you can do it through the platform, which is the right here, www.taxlienexpertprimetime.com, where you can actually sign up for the seminar and you'll have more access. A lot of the seminars that we do host, that we have on the platform, is allow you to actually have membership perks. So you will have membership perks. So let me explain this. If you go on our actual website and sign up for a seminar, you will get access to YouTube membership access, because a lot of those videos are interchangeable and we want you to be able to go to each platform and get everything. So that's what is the change with on YouTube, as well as the change with our website, what we have access to for everybody, and actually, information for Rumble. Now, to close off Rumble, we uploaded a video yesterday and we got like one view. Now, I know it's a different algorithm from uploaded and live. So, what we're going to do is try to aim towards doing more lives. And we will hope that you throw your notifications on. So, when we upload a video that's comprehensive, like what we're about to play for you now, because today we're going to be doing calling all tax liens and real estate investors. If you have any questions coming from any platform, you can ask me. I'm going to review just a few questions off of YouTube and answer those questions and tell the person, even though I answered them already, but just to, for you guys to see that when you do ask me a question, I am very transparent. If I don't know, I will find out. And then I will always tell you, look into it, yourself, so you can interpret it or get an expert. Our main thing is to put you in the right direction, have that general set knowledge base for real estate, not just tax lien and tax deeds investment, but we focus on tax lien and tax deeds investment. So today we have an open session. You're here with Lashley, but before we start our open session, we're actually going to go into the basics. What is a property tax lien and how do I invest? So a lot of the videos that we share with you are pretty formal as well, where we share PowerPoint with you. So we're going to share this. It's about a 15-minute video. It was uploaded on Rumble, and we didn't get a lot of play, so we want to start off with that so the people who really don't understand this process, what it is, and how you may be able to enter it, if it benefits you, this will be the video to get you started, okay? So I'm going to take myself off the screen. We're going to play this, and then I'm going to come back for some questions if you have, and then we're going to show you some changes on the website, okay? Thank you for being here with Lashley today on this amazing Monday. All right, all right. Welcome, welcome to Primetime Home Buyers. And this is course one, the introductory course. And in this particular seminar, we're going to go into the concept of what is a property tax lien and how do I buy them. What is a property tax lien? So let's get into it. When a lender fails to pay the taxes on his or her property, then the city or the county in which the property is located has the authority to place the lien on the property. A lien is a legal claim against the property for an unpaid or owed amount. Property that has a lien attached to it cannot be sold or refinanced until the taxes are paid and the lien is removed. And this is the importance of why we are tax lien investors. A property tax lien is a legal claim against the property for unpaid property taxes. The buyer of the tax lien has the right to collect the lien plus interest from the property owner. If the property owner does not pay up within a certain period of time, the lien holder can foreclose on the property, ultimately gaining possession. Similar to how actual properties can be bought and sold at an auction, these property tax liens can be purchased as well. So I want you guys to understand that there are different auctions that takes place at the county sale, which can be foreclosures. Sometimes they have foreclosure.com as well as they have a separate tax lien auction. So you want to make sure that when you go to these sales that you're participating in the right sale. Quick facts. In 2017, approximately 14 billion in property taxes were not paid. According to the Brad Westover, executive director of the National Tax Lien Association, about a third of those liens are subsequently told off to private investors. Local government benefits from the private sales because they immediately recoup the monies owed on the property in question. 30 states sells tax liens. So just know all the other states participate in selling deeds. How can I invest in tax liens? When a tax lien is issued, the tax lien certificate is created by the municipality, as we stated, that reflects the amount that is owed on the property, plus interest or penalties that is due at that time. These certificates are then auctioned off and subsequently issued to the highest bidding investor. Tax liens can be purchased for as little as or as few $100s for a very small property, but the majority costs much more. So just keep in mind, I will recommend at least going to a tax lien auction with $5,000 to $6,000. Okay, and you may can get more benefit in actually participating in an over-the-counter tax lien sale with that amount of money. Two ways to buy property liens. So we're going to mention the over-the-counter sale. County tax lien auctions. So there's two ways. Is that county tax lien auctions, which is basically generally, but you can go to the physical auction live, or you can go pursue it over the counter if the actual state has those type of liens available. Now, why I say it's kind of harder to go through the tax lien process through the auction way, because there's another uh giant that you have to face if you don't like to be competitive. The reason why I say it's a little harder because people sometimes don't like to get into bidding wars, and bidding wars can happen. So the auction may be held in a physical setting or online, and investors may either bid down on the interest rate on the lien or bid up on the premium that they will pay for it, which means what is due. The investors who is willing to accept the lowest rate of interest or pay the highest premium will be awarded with the lien, and that is in states who have a bid down state, okay? It should be noted that buyers often get into bidding wars over a given property. So if you're intimidated, the first thing I suggest to you is go in the passive way. Get to know the counties, get to know how you do your research. Ask them, do they have over the counter tax lien certificates, the list, and can you review them? Take your time and then go in to do your research. So, over the counter tax lien sales seems to be a little easier way to get started. Leftover properties from the auctions that was prior, they are available for you. It's no hassle, less hassle, because what you do is just petition the county or you find that information. You still probably have to register, and then you can move forward to actually pay the monies that's due without going into a bidding war. Okay. So it's a more relaxed process. Interest that can be earned. The state law determines what amount of interest as well as the charge on the late taxes because there's penalties. So you want to know that, and you'll be able to look for this information when you go and look for the legal information pertaining to how to do the tax lien investment process. You usually can find that on a state level online, and we will give you some examples further on in the course of how to research law. So this means a state can guarantee that the interest is between 18 and 25%. So this is a given. Sometimes you do have states that start at 16%, 8%, a little bit lower. So we have to keep that in mind. But if there's states who have 2 years redemption period, meaning you bought it 1 year and the person has 2 years, that means that if it's 8%, 1 year, you're going to be able to get at least 16% or max 16% in that case, if the homeowner wants to redeem. Redemption times vary from state to state, from 6 months to 2 years. Okay, so you want to look at the state law, figure out what's the redemption period, and you want to compare that to your actual investment plan. Do I want to do something with this type of property in a year from now? Can I build more monies up in 2 years? Maybe that'll help me build a physical property on this land that I'm waiting to foreclose on. You know, you have to keep your mind open. There's so many options when you're investing in tax lien or tax deed. Now, additional benefits of investing in property tax liens. So we're going to go over that. So they can be easily acquired. And I will say that if you do your due diligence, it is easy to go to the tax lien auction and say 1,000, 1,000, get the property. But the issue is knowing if there's any encumbrance or issues with the property. Okay. So it's easy to go acquire it, but what are you acquiring? Okay, so investors control minimum monetary investment. Like I said, you go there, you say, I got this amount of money, this is what I'm going to use, and I'm not going to go above that. Also, some counties and some states actually recommend that you set up a budget. You let them know how much you're going to be spending at the auction, and they usually cap you at that amount because they want to prevent anyone being kind of like shunned from the auction because they didn't buy the property that they bid it for, because people can get emotional and go through bidding wars. There are many counties that restricts people for not paying on the property that they bid for. Okay, so it's a great chance to learn about real estate, and this is the benefit. Not only will you be learning about the process of investing in tax liens and tax deeds, but you're going to learn skills here. You're going to learn how to do your due diligence, which basically is one, doing initial soft title search, what we call a soft title search. finding out information about the property homeowner, looking for any inconsistencies in the deeds, the recordings, because you want to highlight this. You can do this in 10 to 15 minutes if you know where to get the resources. You want to look at IRS information. You want to see if there's any other liens or encumbrance in the court. You want to look for beneficiaries and much more. So it's a great chance that you're going to learn a lot more from this program than just how to invest in a tax lien and tax deeds. That's why you're here. Next, it can work from you can work from home doing this process. At least 70% of this process is done at home. And I'm saying that because what we show you is how to apply this method across the whole United States. So most of the things that we need is located online, like the GIS mapping. We look for Google. Usually the tax assessor's information is online and the treasury's office. Everything is pretty much there. Why? That's why we say at least 70%. But we always recommend that you see the property. You do a visual of the property. It is very important for you to see the property or someone else to see the property prior to you putting your monies down. There are some mappings that are not totally correct. That's why we opt to go to GIS mapping because they are the most up to date one. And we teach you how to find free GIS mappings in whatever state that you're looking for, okay? And kind of how to read it and how to play around with those platforms. So with that goes to say 70%, probably even 85 can be done from home, but we always recommend you have boots on the ground, okay? Investing helps the community. One, the county does not want properties to sit rotten or empty or vacant. That lowers the price value of the market in the area. The look, the cosmetics of the area all plays a part in these the reason why tax liens are and deeds are sold by the county. Not only to generate the revenue that is owed to them, but actually to make sure that they keep their county looking beautiful, running good in the economy, being well in real estate. Okay, so this is how you're helping the county as well. Tax lien certificate helps investors help individual property owners. And the reason why I say that is because as a tax lien investor, you may have someone who is in the property. Now, if you want to deal with homeowner occupied properties where you get to negotiate with the homeowner, then this is something that you can do. You have people who are in properties that, they have no choice but to move out because of their condition. They are late on taxes and more other things. Sometimes, if you have, let's say, a house worth $200,000, you made your initial investment of 15,000. The taxes was about 7. So you go talk to the person and say, "Hey, they're in the house and they like giving you a little issue to get out, or you have a sob story or whatever it may be. It's not a sob story, it's people's situations. You can negotiate with this person and say, "Hey, I can give you $2,500 and you could vacate the premises immediately and take that and see, can you get yourself an apartment?" Now, the reason why you would do that, because that can be part of your monetary investment. Literally, if the house is worth $250,000, put in an extra 22500 to help someone as well as solidify your deal doesn't sound too bad. So we have to have negotiation skills, and understand that we're coming in on a community level and we're not coming in as sharks. Now, this is our last slide for this part. I do want to say thank you so much for being part of the buyback team and joining our course. So this is introductory to tax liens and tax deeds. We have much more to show you. Please click to the next video. All right, all right. So we did a flashback for the individuals who don't really understand the mechanics of what a tax lien is or a tax deed. Okay. So if you have any questions pertaining to that, I want you to start just, brainstorming and just put them inside of the chat. And towards the end of the broadcast, I'm going to start answering people questions. Not a problem. So basically, what we're going to do is on Sundays, we're going to upload a video. And on Mondays, we may replay the video or just touch the topics of the video. And if you have questions on Rumble, or Facebook. Just upload them, and then we're going to talk about them. So that's the foundations of investing in tax liens and tax deeds. So the most important things we want to highlight again. Let's just get our little checklist together. If you don't have a pen and piece of paper, always have a pen and piece of paper on Mondays when you're on live with me, because I'm going to share a lot of information. Okay, excuse me. Hold on. I do apologize. Been working overnight, so I'm still getting my feng shui together. God be the glory that I could, kind of like feng shui into day shift, because it's hard for night people to do that. So please bear with me. This is the effects of working hard, dry throat, dehydrated, those type of things. But I'm gonna get myself together. All right. So now, one of the things you want to highlight is learning about the state. This process can be applied interchangeable. In that video, we talked about our actual program and what we have to offer. Within this broadcast, we're going to go through the whole platform, okay? Because we did some upgrades. We keep upgrading it for you guys. It's literally an online school. It has a platform for you guys to actually co-exchange information once you become active. We also have an app that you can download to watch your where you're at. It'll keep where you're at in your seminars. You'll know you'll have easy access as well as in your programs. Okay, so there's a lot to offer in that platform. We're gonna get to it. Oh, let me drink something. I do apologize. All right. So the key things is learning about your state, because this particular process can be applied interchangeable. We have a state to state breakdown that we're going to show you on YouTube, as well as that state to state breakdown is accessible to all the members on our particular platform. Membership is $19.99 a year, and I'm going to show you everything that you have access to just with the membership. Okay, only you don't have to get the seminars, you don't have to get the course. It's literally just being part of the college, going in, checking things out. I consider this pseudo college, because you can't use those terms legally, but because of my comprehensive knowledge of school as well as loving to learn, this is how I set the platform up. So I gave you a little background about myself, but another thing is that I homeschooled both of my kids for the last 6 years, and that was not the easiest process by working overnight as well. So I'm saying that to you to say that that's some of the skill sets that I have incorporated in this program. Knowing people's learning pathways, which is auditory, written, you can use highlighters, which is tactile learning. I incorporated all of that because I need all of that to learn. So those are the things that I thought about when I put this program together, just giving you a heads up of how detail orientated it is. And this is an ever growing actual how can I say sector? I look at it just like healthcare. You can always learn. There's always changes in the market. So we're going to always be adding stuff to the platform. So if you're part of membership, or you got a seminar, you got part of the membership, you're going to always have access to new information. You want to move forward with learning the information about the state law. Before you go into just the particular county, you want to say, okay, is this a deed state or is this an actual tax lien state? That's two different pathways, okay? And the third pathway can be over the counter, which is connected to tax liens, because usually they don't have deeds over the counter. When I find states who do have deeds over the counter, I will let you know, but they're usually tax lien certificates, which is usually early advanceable, meaning that you usually don't have to wait the whole redemption period, because it's usually the tax lien from a year prior. Okay, does that make sense? So you want to know the state law. You want to know what you have to do to close the deal. That's the most important thing. You want to know your way out. If anyone's teaching you a method of investing in crypto or investing in forex, whatever, if they're not teaching you a way out, your exit strategy, then that's something you want to think about. When you go into a place, the first thing you do is look at the exits. Like, wait, how am I gonna get out of here safely? So that's how I look at anything that I'm entering, be it a financial venture, a physical place, or whatever. So that's kind of like the mindset I want to set in you. what do we have to do to close the deal? Do the state require me to do a general foreclosure, or do I just have to go and put these people on notice, then do a conventional title search or quick claim action? You can get that done through a lawyer or a realty company. Okay, I know I'm saying a lot. I'm saying a lot because it's a lot of details that people don't share with you with this process. So if I go too fast, just press rewind or look at some of my videos because I reiterate a lot. Okay. So what that goes to say, do we have to do a general foreclosure? So now we're looking at our budget. We're like, okay, we got $10,000 here. What we're about to do. Um, do I want to invest all this $10,000 in one tax certificate? Two, how many can I acquire? Now, that's when you start to go on a state or county level, and then you look at the county. And you're going to base your investments on the county's social economical basis. Those are some of the things you want to keep in mind. Because, like for instance, if I'm going to do investment in Fulton County, Clayton County, Atlanta, somewhere like East Points, I know that the taxes may be higher in that location. And also it may be some surcharges that goes with that because it's a county, it's an actual city. I do apologize. They definitely making a lot of money and they're high value. So those are things that I want to keep in mind. Or do we go to a more rural place? And then the things that we keep in mind with a rural place is okay, maybe a little less to invest, a little less competition. I may have the land that I want because I'm looking for land and space, but then we got to make sure that there's no errors because sometimes when you're dealing with little counties, everything is not connected or totally processing like an actual city would. So if you ever lived in a city versus a county and you have both, I mean, like a town, I do apologize, a city versus a town, you'll see the marked difference. Like me coming from Jersey and everything being connected, i.e., example, the DMV, everybody will know if your license suspended, but things like that. Then you go to a rural county, they don't know certain things because their stuff is disconnected. And that ended up happening when I moved to Georgia. I learned the marked difference of how state runs. So you want to keep that in mind in your tax lien and tax deed investment process. Frame of mind thinking. So you're already looking at the law, you're looking at how to close the deal, you're thinking about your budget. You're like, hey, I got $10,000, so I'm only going to use 7,000, no more than 8,000 on two tax liens. Let's say we could push it to three, depending based on this social economic um, price range in this area. I may be able to get two. Okay, do apologize. So now I got that in mind. I go and I see if this particular state, if it's a tax lien state, can I do it over the counter? I'm in another state, so can I do you have over the counter? So that's some of the things you can look on the actual county website and they will tell you that, or you can refer to the videos that we give you in our state to state breakdown, and I actually tell you if they have over the counter. We have a full over the counter seminar, and we do break down all the states that offer over the counter tax lien sales. So we'll get to that and just show you where that's located. Now, that's the more passive way of going at it. Or let's say they say, hey, we don't have over the counter. We have to go. You have to be there. So these are some of the things you want to keep in mind. I'm very interested in this county. Do I have boots on the ground? Can I get boots on the ground? Do they accept third party bidders? Meaning, I'm saying third party bidders abstractly, meaning that you can have a representative there bid for you. Some counties don't allow you to do that. Just the state does not govern what the county allow you to do when it comes to micro elements. Long as the county is going according to state law, they can kind of and mold it the way they want to, and we show you that on the state to state breakdown. So now we're at the county. Excuse me, my voice was clear and then it started messing up. Hold on. All right, I do apologize. So now we're on the county level. We're in contact with the county. We're looking at the properties. Now let's say that is over the counter. We just got the list. We're checking it out. Now the most important thing I can stress about over the counter and any tax lien investment, do your due diligence. And that's where I refer to our soft title search section seminar. That seminar highlights for the people who are already like, I know how to do this. I have invested, but everything didn't really work out the way I want to. I kind of want to know where I made my mistakes at. Let me look at this seminar. So that seminar has about 10 videos, which about 10 hours of information, where it breaks down the full process of a soft title search, where you're going to go on a county level, state level, IRS website. You're going to look for bankruptcies. You're going to look for encumbrance. If you see any encumbrance, anything that's attached to IRS lien, you just step away unless it's worth it. We talked about that. But in bankruptcies as well, there can be a gray area with that. If it ends up on a tax lien list, like an active list, and the person did bankruptcy a certain amount of days and it did not process yet, you may be able to purchase the tax certificate and they have to reimburse you. So these things you can look for because you'll probably know before it even happened, like, oh, I got a bankruptcy. Somebody not going to be able to purchase that. That's how thorough we are at Primetime Home Buyers. Okay. So moving forward, keep in mind the fair market value because the end game means you want to know how much you're going to get back. So we put $10,000 back. We will hope that we can get 100% interest because of the market. This is the low the when it comes to level, this is the lowest way, the lowest amount you can enter the real estate market. You just have to have patience, you have to do your due diligence, and you can end up, as we talked about last week, touching more than 9 properties. You can touch way more. I have a goal of touching 20 by the end of the, not this year, this year is almost over. Next year, so we're going to share with you our ventures as well, and you can build up a portfolio and just wake up one night like, well, I can redeem on all three of these properties. Are they not going to pay it? And by that time you did your research, you kind of know what's on the property if it have a lien, so you have no worries when you bring it to your lawyer or whoever is going to close the deal for you, or if you're going to close the deal. I.e., let me give you an example. The real estate person who's helping me sell my property in Maryland, she was like, I will at least say that your property has no liens on it. She was like, you did a thorough job. I said, yes. We had some other issues that I had to find out about, as I told you about the perks. And I'm thinking that it was utilities there because it was homes around. But at the end of the day, we still have a buyer. And that's why when we talk about selling your home, being abstract. Excuse me, Rumble, you may not know about this content, but this content is on YouTube. And some of this will be restricted to members only section, but we go into contracts and understanding, how to utilize that to your benefit as a real estate investor. All right, so moving forward, knowing the fair market value, you want to know your exit game, how much you're going to get back. You already know the law, you know what you got to do to close the deal. You kind of got in contact with the county, you got a little relationship with them. Now you're about to move forward. Now, one of the things before you go within your due diligence, look for a homestead. Any home that's connected to a homestead, my opinion, is stay away. The reason why is because there's a lot of hassle with it. Even realtors is like, do your home have a homestead? And then I'll say no. They're like, oh, thank you, Jesus. They'll deal with it, but they don't want to because it's a headache sometimes. The next thing you want to go into is zoning restrictions and environmental information. You may not think that's important. A lot of people in this tax lien and tax deed game don't go as thorough as this, and they end up finding themselves in a rut. I.e., example, I shared this with you most recently. I was made aware someone had a portfolio of 10 investments, and only 3 of them were actually able to be resold because the other ones were in a wetland. Yeah, so that shows that they skipped over the zoning. And all you have to do is literally go to the zoning and regulation and building and coding. Depending on how small the county is, they may be together in the same building. But if not, then you're gonna look for that. And then the first thing you're gonna do is look at a map. Look at the map and what the maps say, what's going on in the area. They should have 3 or 4 maps, and we do have videos on zoning, and you'll be able to see, if it is like government land, farmland, agriculture, commercial properties. They go into different things where it deals with zoning and regulations. As far as skyscrapers could be there, can farmland be there? So you'll look at all of that there. All right. and it won't take you long. Okay, once you know, that's why we say start with one or two counties. Don't overwhelm yourself because the first amount of research can be cumbersome, but once you get to understand the process, you're gonna be just like me talking, like, then you do this, then you do that, then you do this is how it will happen. Okay, so pretty much I'm just talking and kind of looking at my checkpoint. All right, so now you know about the zoning restriction. You're like, all right, this is not a wetland. I could build on this. And you guys, the county can, you know, like, no, it's a no building, but we're working on this and it will be changing the law. There's a bill in place and they'll let you know. Okay. Because they work with contractors a lot. They want to make sure that they bring revenue to their home, to their town. That's their job. So the next thing you also want to look into is the Chamber of Commerce or NACO. Y'all know I love NACO. And find out, do they have any incentive program for investors? Okay. So is my investment for sale, interest only, or holding the investment? That's the initial thing. What you want to do with this? I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna sell it. Um, I want to use it as investment property. You know, to rent it, whatever it is, you want to have that in your frame of mind way at the beginning before you choose the actual properties that you're interested in. That's going to govern and shape what you choose. All of that, what we just talked about, is going to govern and shape what you choose on the list. Okay, does that make sense? Now, do the property have bankruptcy? Highlight that. Okay, that could close the deal for you. You'll get your money back, but it just, you know, and it'll take time, but you'll get it back. Okay. Doing the soft title search is basically all the elements that I talked about. Do the property need any improvements? Now, if the property needs improvement, that's a separate budget from the budget we were talking about investing and closing the deal. So that is for people who want to move forward after this and be builders. You know, my opinion is just start slow. I started with land because I didn't want the headache of having a property. It's not that you do, I mean, like, having a home in different states that I can't see. It's not about insurance, because you got to get insurance on all of it. But you know, once you acquire it and keep it safe, but it's like less maintenance. You usually just got to get the grass cut. So I just telling y'all how I started the easy way. But this year we about to get some houses. Okay, we about to come for the houses because you already know what's happening with the market, guys. Okay, that's some of the things we talk about on Secure Your Energy Market Watch. I think on Friday, though, we're going to come back and do a more informal live. It's not going to be about tax liens and tax deeds, and we're going to talk about some of the things that's happening in the real estate market, a few scams and other stuff. Not just scams, but there's other things going on. Okay. Next, review available land surveys. You can call the land survey office and see when the last one's there. Hints and tips. Okay. Now, if you don't have a survey on your property, sometimes you can get good with the neighbor. And if they tell you the neighbor had a survey, they may be able to provide that survey with for you to look at it, or you can talk to the neighbor and see, can you, you know, kind of look at it so you can make a decision. Okay. When you get things built, fences and things, you're going to have to use official survey markers and things like that to make sure that is good. But just to do your due diligence, these some of the things that you could keep in mind. That's why keep it nice. You keep it nice with your neighbors and everybody, okay? Because these could be your buyers too, okay? When I update you on some properties, we got some. You know, when everything work out, we're gonna let you know how our things went this year. But you gotta play nice. Play nice. Now, also review available. Are people living in the property? That's the next thing you want to keep in mind. Now, this is the foundation of thinking. Okay, even okay, you can look at the tax lien list and determine, oh, it's a if it's a 50-50 chance somebody in the property. If the person name and their address, the homeowner name and address is the same as the um the description and the address property, then most likely they live there. You want to keep that in mind, especially dealing with cities and things. Sometimes we have people who stay there, they know how to play the game, they watch videos like this and be like, well, I'm going to stay there a month and play the game. She done taught me some stuff. That's why you need to play the game too. So if there are people in there, as we mentioned in the PowerPoint, you can negotiate with them, get them out, little change, get them moving, or you can move forward with a general eviction. And that's some of the things you want to keep in your budget too. Like, okay, well, I know it's people here, I'm gonna have to evict them. So I may want to add another $5,000. Not saying that the eviction will cost $5,000, but you just want to have a little buffer. So $15,000 may be your initial, but the property is worth 270 right now. The mean average in Georgia for an average family home is 350,000. I'm like, wow, okay, wow. I imagine this happening all over the country. Is there mobile properties on the land? And I'm gonna close off on this list because that's when we go into encumbrance. And just doing I'm jumping off subject, doing a review of the information that we shared over the year. We literally give you details about all of this on YouTube, and through our membership, just details. So, does the property have an encumbrance? And that's when you're going to look, or a mobile home or anything. That means easements, not encumbrance. I do apologize. Easements. And that video easements is something that's very important for people because, like for example, someone may have a right of passive way easement on the property, so you're sharing the driveway. You didn't know that you were sharing the driveway. You got to keep that in mind. Maybe if someone has a passive way right just to go through your property to get to their property. Maybe someone has an encumbrance or easement on your property that was created for them having their barn on your property for so many centuries, and now you get it. You like, wait, that's on my land, but there has been an easement created. So we talk about the type of easements, and some ways that you can actually fight those easements, being new investors in the property, depending on if the law changed in that particular county, changes happen. They will may give you an amendment on an actual easement and allow that, or void the easement in some aspects. That doesn't happen a lot, but it's starting to, because people are using land for different things. And as time goes on, certain things that land was used for doesn't create a lot of monetary gain. So I always get this example. Let's say if you had a property and you used to rent it out to the circus every year. They did before you got it. And the circus has a 50-year easement, meaning that every year on September they can come and do the circus on this property, whoever owns it. It is what it is. So you like, oh man, you make them fight that at the point that you want to say, I want to build a parking lot in this area. In this parking lot with 5 levels will help ease the congestion on the street for the city. So you will be considered more in that, how you say, fight to change that easement. So I'm giving you an example of why we talk about easements, because it could be the little things that that save you. I.e., example, when I was in the lawsuit with Queen Anne County, it was my actual contract lost skills understanding. Because as I told them, when you know about advertising and contract, that plays a role in the contract paper as well. So that helped me with my case. And the judge wanted to see it. He was like, wow, because it was a good argument. Okay. So just keep in mind how to profit from tax lien and tax deeds. There's over 3,100 counties. So we're not in competition with each other, buyback team. That's why I say we work together. Sharing is caring. Because at the end of the day, the people who own a lot of the land right now in United States are not only the bankers or companies, but actually foreign investors too. And that's through the banking industry. And that was through the bonds that was bought in 2008 housing market. If you have a mortgage attached, these are the people that profit off of it, okay? EFTs, the portfolios that's put together with high risk mortgages, they still make money off of all of that. So what we're teaching you here is how to get in the game and let's even the playing field. Okay, so it's 3,100 counties that you can pick from. Now, all of them are not developed, despite what they say. There's too many people on the planet. We taking up too many land. When you fly on the airplane, you will see that there's a lot of land uninhabited. So, also going through the tax lien and tax deed process, you could get a lot of land that was literally just sitting. and then just like not habitated. You're like, dang, that was there for a while. So just expand your horizons and kind of think positively about what you have out there. It's we don't need to, fight for resources. That's something that they're putting in us, okay? So start early, meaning that if the tax lien sale is happening, let's say you got one coming up on Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month in Georgia, you should have started actually researching 2 weeks ago. Because about 2 weeks ago, and prior to that, or probably just prior to that, in this state, they were starting to release the pre-tax lien list. You need to know where to get that. When we talk about the soft title search and things, we go into detail. It's at the Treasury office at one point because these are people who got the bill. Then it is approved, and the paperwork is like, okay, so the tax assessor, they send the bill to the Treasury office, go the legal way, it depending on the state, to get lawyers involved to make sure that when they move forward to foreclose or whatever they have to do to transfer the property in their name or gain rights to it is done on that level. Does it make sense? The tax assessor's office don't do that. It's different entities. So when it's there, that list is there about a week earlier. So if you getting good, you make a talk to somebody and they're like, well, I can't get you the list, but what I can do is tell you the first day that it gets to the tax assessor's office so you can start doing your due diligence. But your due diligence starts before that because before you talk to that person, you already know the state law, how to close, why you chose the county, what you're moving forward to look for. You see what I'm saying? Stages to this. So start early, as we say. You have potential to get up to 8 to 20%, and I would say that varies depending on the state because, as we talked about in the PowerPoint, some states have 2 year redemption periods. So you invest this year, you need to follow through, look for the next tax lien, as well as probably keep in mind if that person is in the home or it's a not just a company, they may pay you, and whatever the interest rate is for that year, you're going to get double plus penalty. That's how the interest numbers actually built up. Okay, I'm not the one that's going to tell you, oh, you're going to get 1,000% interest and it's going to happen overnight. No, but I'm going to explain to you how it can happen. Patience and diligence is going to serve you well because when the money come in, it probably hits you right on time for you to reinvest or to use it for a bill because life happened. Life happened. Some of those checks that came in, I was like, thank you, Jesus. The car insurance due right on time. Car insurance is high. All right. So the disadvantage is getting neglected property, as we talked about. I'm going to talk about the good, bad, and ugly. Neglected property where you're going to have to pay more to get it fixed up. Keep in mind, you want to look at what's going on social economically from the perspective of a builder. The price for to get a new roof, to get a new get the garage fixed, to get the things painted. All of that costs double and triple the amount right now. Okay, so you want to think about that type of stuff. Can you? Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at one of the questions. Yes, I can. We're gonna talk about mentorship and where you could kind of get a one-on-one with me after we kind of break this down. I just want to just keep on just sharing information today, and then we're gonna jump into the website where you could get in contact with me, and we could have a one-on-one mentorship. Now, neglected properties is something that you want to keep in mind as we talk about how much that's going to cost to rebuild if you're looking for that, if you have the funds. All right. Also, you want to look into the, some homes are condemned. Okay. So you want to look, it just popped in my head. I don't know why. There's been a lot of homes that has been condemned, especially since we have a high uptake of fentanyl use and drug use and meth. I know this affects the home because if it was meth cooked in the home, that home has to be demolished. They demolish those homes. They condemn those homes. So sometimes counties who have that issue, they have a whole list for that. And you want to ask that, especially in rural areas. Okay. So that was just something new. That's why I say it's always new information to share when it comes to real estate and things that's changing in the market because things around us change. Who would think that meth use would affect home ownership and being able to invest? And if you get a place that's condemned, you're not getting your money back. I know that was like a down moment. No, 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 no. That's why when you go to the county level and you're reading the detailed information they gave you, they said it's for information educational purposes. Get a lawyer and just know that every investor is there's a risk. They tell you they be like, here's a risk. Full disclosure session. And what that goes to say, what is going on with my thing? I will see you on Friday.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.